Galen Bingham, the Leadership Strategist. Hey, I wanted to come on here and ask you a question. Who are you competing against? That's a really, really important question that you need to answer. If you can mention a name of someone that you're competing against, that you view as your competition, if you can think of Bob or Jim or Bill or any name, if you could put any name as the answer to that question, I'm gonna tell you you're aiming in the wrong direction. You should not be competing against another person on this planet ever. There should be 3 people that you're competing against. Number 1, you should be competing against yourself from yesterday. Whatever you did yesterday, that should be the bar for what you should be shooting for doing today. So you're competing against yourself from yesterday. And that's it. Number 2, the second person that you should be competing against is you should be competing against your best. You know how well you can do a particular thing. You know, my dad used to say, because we played sports, and he'd always give all this great advice relative to sports, and my sport was basketball. My dad would often say, you know, hey, look, you go out there on the court and you look into the eyes of the other player, you know in your heart of hearts whether or not that player is better than you. You've got to determine what you're going to do in order to be victorious. And I think that the same is true for your best. You know in your heart of hearts whether or not you've given your best, whether or not yesterday was your absolute best. And if it's not, then that's what your goal needs to be today. You are competing against your best. You want to find out where that edge is every single time. And then the last person that you should be competing against is you should be competing against your vision of who you are supposed to be tomorrow. So whoever it is that you were created to be, whoever it is that you are destined to become, you should be fighting against, you should be striving against, you should be challenging yourself to beat that vision every single day. Nothing good comes from being comfortable. Nothing good comes from this false sense of entitlement or this fallacy that says, well, I beat Jimmy, so I must be doing okay, or I'm the top in my class, therefore I must be doing well, or there is no one else above me on the sales list, therefore I must be the best. If you're not competing against yourself from yesterday, if you're not competing against your best, if you're not competing against who you are supposed to be, I'm going to tell you that you're failing and you need to step up your game. This is Galen Bingham, the Leadership Strategist.